The content discussed on this program is often medical in nature and is used for informational purposes only. No content discussed should be taken as medical advice. Please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. Hi, I'm Tori McGee, and this is the Rapid Recovery Report sponsored by ROM Tech, the modern technology of rehabilitation. So we'll be doing a weekly series, as I'm sure those of you watching know by now, where we talk to folks every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern, different guests. So be it surgeons, patients, insiders at ROM Tech to discuss wellness and health and touch on ROM Tech's PortableConnect. So we can pop a picture up here of it. If you're new to ROM Tech, this right here is the PortableConnect. It's pretty fancy schmancy, if I do say so myself. It's a high-tech recovery device that's geared to get patients moving and on the road to recovery faster from injuries and surgeries. So if you want to learn a little bit more about us, visit us at www.romtech.com and follow us on social media at the handles listed in the description below. So today we've got our guest is a little bit different than some of the other guests that we've had on our program here previously. His name is Mike Miller, and he's not an orthopedic surgeon, and he's not an official ROM Tech employee, but Mike has been in the orthopedic field for the last 17 years as a surgical first assistant, then in the trauma field, and now he's in Florida in the DME world. So Mike works with a lot of our surgeons in the Florida area and acts in place of our field clinicians to service patients. So he still does a lot of his work with Gulf Coast Orthopedics and Innovations, doing a lot of cold compression, but now he's kind of brought the PortableConnect into his business as well. So, Mike, we're so happy to have you here with us today.
Thanks, Tori. Appreciate the welcome.
Yay! Oh, this is going to be fun. So, we've got a pretty knowledgeable guy here when it comes to the PortableConnect, working with patients and also working with surgeons. So if you guys have any questions that you wanted to ask Mike, you can go ahead and drop those in the comment section on whichever social platform that you're on, and they'll pop up for us. And time permitting, we'll go ahead and address those here when we're done with our chat. So Mike, 17 years in the industry is a really long time. You don't look that old, for one, which is good. So I don't think you've been living in the Florida sun for that long, have you?
On and off for about 10 years.
Okay. So what was the first DME product that you were involved with?
I started about 2 years ago with compression. Cold compression. It actually opened the door for a lot of other things. And cold compression in general has been around forever. They've had basically the ice jugs for the longest period of time. And then they came in, they added the compression part of it into it, which has been a huge thing for the industry. So cold compression would be my first. And then to follow is ROM Tech.
Awesome. So how did you learn about ROM Tech then?
Uh-oh. You're cutting out.
Uh-oh. Well, I can see you pretty clear and hear you very well. So I'll ask my question again. Hopefully you can hear me. How did you learn about us at ROM Tech?
Oh, there you are.
We've been battling connection issues, so hopefully it gets a little bit better. Did you hear my question, Mike, about where you heard about us?
I did not. Oh, actually, yes. So I heard about you from one of the orthopedic surgeons that I currently do business with about a year and a half ago. And at that point, I did some research and reached out directly to ROM Tech multiple times and had multiple sit downs, multiple conversations before they even had a line you could call into. Which was, so I was talking direct with the powers that be and we pretty much planned together, and here I am, a little over a year later, and we're about to rock and roll.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what did or why, I guess, did you want to be a part of what we're doing here at ROM Tech? What really affected you to want to reach out and give us a call and dive in with us?
The more I looked at the product, there's so much behind it. There's nothing like this in the industry. Myself alone, I've worked with patients, throughout my 17 years. I've been pulled away from that a little bit now, doing the hands-on, putting Humpty Dumpty back together again. And here we are, is this product came back, and I was more along the lines of that patient interaction kind of pulled me toward it initially, and to be a part of their recovery. But once I saw what this machine was able to do and reproduce over and over and over again, it just excites me. I mean, it's one of those things that I'm so glad I pursued. I'm so glad I was persistent on continuing to call, continuing to sit down with these guys and have conversations day in and day out. And here we are. I mean, there's a great team. The team internally has been nothing but it's truly a family. I mean, you guys, all the support staff around every single one of the ROM Tech employees are far from that. I mean, I can't even, there's no words to even speak of it.
Well, you've been a really integral part in, our expansion of, especially like the northwestern kind of part of Florida, which is where you are. Which, fun fact, for most of you who think that all of Florida is in the Eastern time zone, that's not true. The areas where Mike tends to service is in the Central time zone. So, how about that for a fun fact?
We might have missed a couple of calls because of that.
Yeah, I made that mistake, I think, one time in scheduling, and I was like, oh my gosh, not all of Florida is the East Coast time? Okay, never again am I making that mistake. So with your experience, I guess, with cold compression, I'm sure it does. With your experience with cold compression and, with patient recovery in general and having the 17-year, background in orthopedics, what feedback are you getting now from patients who are using the ROM Tech PortableConnect device?
It's one of those things where you just want to pinch yourself, because myself is like, I've been in the industry that long that what the recovery time, what the expected recovery time is for patients.
Sure.
And when you're seeing people ambulate without a cane in two weeks, I mean, I'm picking machines up and at times at 3 weeks, and I'm blown away, like completely blown away, where I'm seeing people walk around like nothing even happened before. And the reason is that early on, getting them active with the machine and getting that range of motion early on, their pain skills going down. The patients in general, they love it. They don't want it to go. The thing I like is they're so involved with their recovery that,
right.
I mean, these patients have went through this for so long and suffered for so long. They want to get back to their normal life. They want to get back.
Right.
And the thing is they can improve. They can follow their improvement. They can increase as their pain scale reduces. And we're getting, range of motion back. The extension we're getting back is it's absolutely amazing. It really is. I'm very grateful to be a part.
Yeah. And I know that we've seen a lot of things anecdotally with, reduction in narcotics and all of that kind of stuff. And I know that, previously I've been lucky enough, knock on wood, to not have to have any kind of major surgery. Like the only surgery really I've ever had to have is having my wisdom teeth pulled out. And, they've put me on meds for that. Of course, I think back in the day, I got like Norcos or something, and I hated them. I totally hated them. They just like did a number on my gut, and they just make you feel kind of funny. Some people, it just doesn't sit well with them. And so to have, an option of something that, might help, because of course, in all of my conversations that we've had with other surgeons, the number one thing that they say is, motion leads to less swelling, less issues. And swelling, essentially is what kind of causes pain, So if you can get rid of that aspect of it and kind of start moving and grooving and feeling a lot better without narcotics, then that's just, a cherry on top of gaining your range of motion back sooner. So I'm glad to hear that you've had such fabulous patient feedback. That just makes us all so happy. So the next question oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and to speak on that, that is 100% accurate. The pain scales have been minimized so quickly, like within 4 or 5 days. I mean, these patients are like, they're down to like a 2. Some patients are 2 the whole time. They're coming out of surgery, and you get them moving. The initial thing is to get them moving. Once you get them moving, and this swelling, the gentleman that spoke last week on robotics.
Right. Yeah. Dr. Bogosian.
That in itself, that was a, I could talk on that for forever and a day as far as that versus the standard approach. But from a swelling standpoint, from a pain scale, everything, and then implementing this ROM Tech machine, a device, PortableConnect, to assist the patients with their recovery has been, 2 weeks, these people they're rocking and rolling. 3 weeks, they're happy as a clam. It's been great. I can't.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's insane for me to think about, how far kind of technology has come to not only be able to use robotics in the replacement of a joint, like you've got a brand new knee, but after 2 weeks of having a brand new knee to be able to kind of just walk around without assistance is insane to me. Like it's, I feel like there are no words, you know what I mean, for the progression that we've come, because it used to take such a long time for recovery.
Right. No, I agree. You're looking at, I could say years ago, you're looking at 6-8 weeks of recovery for a patient. And now, be able to cut that down to 3-4 weeks and they're back to work. It's a bit much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's for sure.
It definitely pulls some of the, I guess, the fear away from having a major surgery like that in the first place, because you're not going to be down for as long, which would be the number one thing for me, is just downtime. But I did want to ask you, what was the process for an 8-week recovery? Like, what did that look like?
Hold on, you cut out.
Okay, I'll try it again here. Since we were talking about longer recovery times, what does the 8-week recovery process look like, or what did it used to look like?
It's just extensive. It's one of those things where, from what I'm seeing now versus what I saw a couple years ago, you're cutting it in less year and a half or less of recovery. And every patient is different. Every patient swells differently. Every patient's pain scale is different. So what you look at is, when you get these patients that you would expect their pain scale to stay at this level for a certain amount of time, and you can put them on a machine and you're watching them first couple of days, obviously your pain scale is going to go up. You just had surgery. But after that, because they're so active, it drops so drastically, and they're able to be more active. It's because it's consistent, and 3 to 5 sessions a day, that's versus 1 PT session. That's the thing, is do the work and you're going to see the results. Yeah, absolutely. So what, I know that you work with patients a lot, and I know that you've got a favorite patient story out there. So do you have one that comes to mind as a favorite that you'd like to share with us? I do. It's great because it just came up earlier this week.
Okay.
So we had a patient. This is one of the first patients that this not first. I want to say it's probably like midway through. I mean, I've been on board. We just got started about 8 weeks ago, maybe total.
Okay.
So this was probably about 3 weeks ago, and this is great. I had picked the gentleman's machine up, and he was doing excellent. This guy's around. I'm just like older gentleman, and I'm just like, wow, this guy's just he's nailed it. I mean, all the way around. I could just tell his personality was like, this isn't going to hold me back. He's got to come. So we're 3 weeks out. We're doing his other knee on Monday. And for me, for that to happen, to turn around, we're doing his knee on Monday, his other knee.
Oh my gosh.
So, and he's going to be right back at it. Yeah, 3 weeks out. The guy is an absolute, I'm floored. I mean, wow. I was just blown away. I was like, what? And that's the thing is like, this has been repeated. We're repeating it consistently. And that's the thing for me is like, okay, is this consistent? Let's see. I'm like, I want to see it to believe it. And now that I've seen it, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
This is, and I've reached out to a lot of people I know across the country, and I'm like, don't pass this one up. Don't pass it up. This is legit. This is, I mean, what it's doing for patients as quick as they're getting their range of motion back, their quality of life back. It's everything you could ask for and more.
That's amazing. So I guess in that same vein, I know we talked about, what surgeon feedback is, but do you have any favorite surgeon feedback or like favorite surgeon stories of those that have kind of like turned into basically a believer like you of the PortableConnect device?
I do. My favorite surgeon's feedback was, so one of the guys I worked with, we've done multiple patients, and I had reached out and I said, just random. It was random. I said, what did you do different with this patient versus your prior patients? And he's like, oh, that was my first robot. And here we are. This is what I'm speaking of. It was the first robot, and for them, the swelling was minimal. And I'm still floored by it. If you look at the age factor and everything else put into it, there's no reason why everyone shouldn't be running around in 3-4 weeks. I mean, that's the feedback that I got from that. And I said, well, whatever you're doing right now, keep doing that, because this guy has been an absolute rock star. And consistently going forward, every single one of them has been on point. Every single one.
That's amazing.
So,
that's amazing. I mean, it's just looking to the future, you know what I mean? And it's one of those things is a testament to, technology just evolving, and, you've got minimally invasive while using robotics. It's, as I learned from Dr. Bogosian, it's not necessarily faster with, the programming of the robots and all of that sort of thing that you need to do for the surgery to have it take place. But, the recovery time to be shortened and the invasion portion to be minimized would, of course, make for, you would think, a quicker recovery, and then just add on the new technology of the PortableConnect. It's kind of like you've got the most high-tech replacement surgery and physical therapy and recovery that you possibly could be in. And it's a really exciting place to be.
I can't even explain it. I mean, just where we're at right now, where Rom Tech's going to go with everything else. I mean, they're definitely breaking the ice. Definitely breaking the ice for some really good things to come.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, I think that's all of the questions that I've got for you. And Mike, I'm sure I'll be talking to you pretty soon and booking you with some doctors that we've got up in the area. Oh, but we did have a question come in from Gio. She said, Mike mentioned that you were a surgical first assistant. So what advice would you give listeners in starting a career like this? And how did you begin your career in orthopedic surgery?
It's interesting because when I was a surgical first assist, I went into sales after that. I have a sales background, surgical first assist, and I've jumped around back and forth, and I've always wanted to start my own distributorship, really work for a bigger company, but distribute for these companies that are niche products or are something that is different. I'm taking this in. This is going to be my baby. Rom Tech is going to be my baby. I would say for advice as becoming as knowledgeable as you possibly can. Just take any kind of mentoring that you can get, any kind of feedback you can get from your surgeons. Learn from what they like, what they don't like, what to stay away from. But at the same time, everything you can always learn. Learning facilities are huge because it's a teaching facility. You get into a university hospital. That's what I came from. I'm from the University of Pittsburgh. So, I come from a huge learning facility, which I took everything in I could possibly take in and just held it there and ran with it. For the most part, it's just continue to educate yourself. If you're in that situation, you want to grow, you want to step outside of being a first assist and you enjoy that. Myself, I'm full line. So I'm recon, trauma, and DME. I love it all. But the way everything's going, by the fact of where DME is, where ROM Tech is with what is about to just blow up. So, that's it. Take as much in from your doctors as you can take in, educate yourself as much as you can possibly. And, the education process, as much as you think you know as a surgical first assist, when you go into sales, no, it's a smack in the face. it's a real smack in the face. Because they call it side. It is.
Listen and learn.
It's one of those things where you have to not swallow your pride. You set your ego aside and you take it all in. You got to learn. You got to be mentored, and you've got to set yourself up with scheduling yourself. Be consistent. That's all I really can say. Be consistent every day. Make a schedule. You should have a schedule every week. You should not be flying off the handle of not scheduling around your daily activity. If you're just going off the whim, you're not going to be successful. You're going to fall off the rocker and you'll hit a lot of speed bumps on the way. I've been there. I understand it. I can just tell you what to stay away from. But yeah.
Well, thanks, Mike. I think that's pretty valuable advice for folks looking to get into the field. So I wanted to thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat with us. Feel free to check out Mike Miller and Gulf Coast Orthopedics and Innovations and follow us here at ROM Tech on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And we'll see you guys next Thursday. Stay safe and have a great evening. Thanks so much, Mike. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Tori. Appreciate you, as always.